Bam! It's time for a review. All right, folks, we got a special one here today. We're going to be doing Bam Bright number 2. That's right, the second episode in the Bam Bright series, where we take a look at lights on Amazon and other vendors and see what we can do with them in our collections. So here's the light we're looking at today. This is the Lalitz motion sensor under cabinet lighting, and this is the 11.8 inch version. Now in my previous version, or my previous video, you'll notice that I already purchased some of the Lalitz, but they were the smaller ones. And you'll see in the back there, I actually have them on the display shelves right now. But this is what you're looking at with the smaller version. And then the ones that came in the 11.8 inch package look like this. You can see there's quite the difference in the amount of lights that are inside of here. So we're going to be taking a look at these and see what we can do with them. All right, just for a quick refresher. So the way that these Lalitz lights work is they are rechargeable. If you look on the actual light, on this side, there's a slot there, right? There's actually this button here is different light levels that you can play around with. And then this is where you actually plug in your USB-C cable in order to charge it. So you plug this into a USB-C cable and then it just goes like straight to USB. So you got to buy yourself a hub for this. If you look at my other video, you'll see a good example of a hub that I use that I can charge more than one light at a time. So that's the old one. And if we look at the new 11.8, it's pretty much exactly the same. You see right there, you got the button with the different light levels, and then you've got your USB-C. Now these particular lights, just as a refresher as well, they have 2 different modes. They've got an auto mode, which when you turn it on, it will sense movement and it will turn on or off based off of the movement, right? So it's kind of nice to conserve the battery life. And then you've got another mode, which is just straight on. And you'll see here, I know it's gonna be kind of hard to see, but I'm gonna click the button over here. Yeah, it's getting brighter. Not too shabby. So that's the new one. Let's go ahead and look at the old one. Let's just see if that one kind of operates the same way. That's real bright. Look at that. You can see the slight variations. It seems like the variations are much deeper with the larger light. All right, so there you go. So that's a little refresher. You got to have the cables. It's unfortunate that you got to charge it that way. I didn't want to run cables all up there and do all that jazz. I just wanted to be able to slam the lights up there whenever I wanted to do a review. So the way you do that is there's magnets, right? Back here. You just stick this thing to the underside, and then this just magnetizes right to it. Bam! Now I'm hoping that I can kind of reuse the ones that I had. I can reuse the magnets that I have up there right now because they're kind of off. I'm hoping that I can reuse them. I don't have to unstick them, because that is probably going to be a real pain. All right, so that's it for the lights. The goal of this particular video is to take a shelf, pick a shelf, like we'll probably do Motu. I'm going to go ahead and get all the lights off, and then we're going to see how, I'm going to swap that light that's under there with the new light, and we're going to see how it looks on the underside. Let me go turn off the floodlights and let's see what it looks like. All right, so just a quick once over. This is what it looks like with the 5-inch Lalitz, 6-inch Lalitz, what they look like with no floodlights on. So I turned all the lights off in here, and what you're seeing is simply just the Lalitz lights. So that's the 6-inch version. I'm gonna go ahead and swap that over to the 11-inch version, and we're gonna see if it makes a difference or not. All right, be right back. Bam! And there we go. Okay, you can see here I took down the 6-inch version and I swapped it with the 11-inch version, and first glance, I'm not really seeing the difference. Go ahead, let me know in the comments if you think the bigger light is producing more of an impact on the overall scene. I think on the edges, so over here and over here, yeah, I know it's kind of, I got these action figures here that are kind of messing everything up, but I think on the edges it's actually helping a little bit because it's wider. But as far as overall light, I don't know. Let me know in the comments what y'all think. Now, one thing that needs to be discussed is that there is a price difference between the small one and the big one, right? All right, let's try one more shelf. We'll get to the price in a minute. That's what you're looking at beforehand. And let's go ahead and swap it over. Be right back. Bam! And there we go. So that's the new light. On a positive note, the magnets kind of work. One of them is not connected. So if you see up there, you'll see that it's kind of hanging off the shelf there. So I probably have to re-stick them. But I feel like it's giving me the exact same light level. So if it's worth the upgraded cost, I don't know. All right, so one other test that I want to do. I want to test out depth. Let me set that up. We'll use the transformer shelf over there. Let me get set up on the depth. 1 second. Okay, so for the depth test here, this is what you're looking at. This is the transformer shelf. Currently has the 5-inch or the 6-inch light on there. Let's swap that over to the 11-inch and see how it changes. Be right back. All right, so a quick aside here. What I noticed is that my lights were not at the maximum brightness. So this is still the 6-inch, but I turned it up to the maximum brightness. So you see that these little 6-inchers are kind of a workhorse. So here's what we have at max brightness 6-inch, and we're gonna swap it over to the 11-inch. Sorry for the shaky camera. I'm kind of moving this thing all over the place, trying to get good shots here. There's the overall. If you're interested, the two shelves in the lower right, they have the 11.5 right now, so you can kind of see the difference between that one and the one above it. I would say not much, but we're going to test this out with a little bit of a deeper shelf now. Be right back. All right, so there we go. Swap to the 11.5. And I have to say, doing this test makes me really appreciate the 6-inch version because, I don't know, post your comments down below if you think that the 11.5s are better than the 6-inch versions. Because I think the best bang for the buck here is the 6-inch version. I'm not going to lie. I think it's largely, not much of a comparison, to be honest with you. Let's do the turtle shelf down below. That's a real deep shelf. Can't really see the whole thing. It's hard to get it into the... All right, first thing I'm going to check is I'm going to check for max brightness. Be right back. All right, so this is max brightness with the 6-inch. And look at the figures down below. They kind of still look like they're in shadow, so it doesn't seem to be penetrating too well. Let's go ahead and swap it to the 11.5. All right, so here we go with the 11.5. See it right there? And it kind of looks the same. I'm not... maybe since I already purchased them, I will leave it on this particular shelf so I get a little bit of depth. But, I think it's largely the same. Let me know in the comments what you think. And here's a zoomed out version of the overall collection. Now I swapped, because I only have 3 of these 11.5s, so I swapped that one. And you can see it's pretty much largely the same. All right, moving right along. Now, for the next test here, what I wanted to do is I wanted to show what you can use these lights for, because they're small, they're kind of form factor, and they can slide into all kinds of locations on your diorama. So what I have here is I have a background that's just like a starless night. I've got old Snake Eyes here. He was in my recent video. Put a sword in his hand. That's a $9 Snake Eyes right there, by the way. Check out my previous video to find out how. And I've got, in the back, I've got some Fortnite brick, like brick walls. So you'll see there, it's kind of like a brick wall type deal. And in the front, I've got the fortifications, the G.I. Joe Classified fortifications. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these LA lit lights as an alternative to light up your diorama. So let's play around with that a little bit. So I'm going to introduce the first light now. And what I'm doing to introduce this light is simply this. I'm just standing the light up over there. Look at old Grogu. Look at you, baby Yoda. You know what I'm saying? I'm simply standing the light up, and I'm kind of getting it to where I want it to go in the picture. So I can move it around. And this is convenient because you don't have to worry about, you know, a massive light that might be behind you and it's flooding the scene. So I just moved one over there to light up that side of old Snake Eyes, and I've got another one over here. You'll see the light gradually coming on. And I just did the same thing. I just stood that one up on that side. So these are a good alternative to using massive, you know, I have the floodlights off in the room right now. So this is simply the LA Litz lights that are providing this illumination. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a third one, and I'm literally going to slide it behind the building. Look at the backlighting that provides on Storm Shadow. Excuse me, on Snake Eyes. All right, I'm gonna pull it out. Kind of sucks because I can't see the transition myself. No backlighting. Backlighting. Look at the bricks. The bricks in the back here are illuminated. Really brings the scene to life. Now let's try another one. Let's try to slide another one. So this is the fourth LA Lit right here. These are just the 6-inch versions, you know. I'm going to slide that in the very back, and we're going to see what it looks like. All right, so I slid it back there. That one doesn't seem to be very impactful. But yeah, so maybe if you had another building back there. So if I take this and lift it up a little bit, if I zoom back, if I'm filming from this angle, see, you see the shadow now. And that's what you don't want. You don't want to see a shadow because the illusion is that's the sky. So there's no shadow in the sky. So down here, it kind of blends in. Let's go ahead and take that out and see if that shadow goes away. All right, so that light's out of there. The shadow's still there. I think it's coming from the sides. So if you move these lights on the sides a little bit, like to there and to there, maybe elevate them a little bit. So I'm going to take that light that was previously behind, and I'm now going to put it in front. See what that looks like. I got to kind of hold it here. It's unfortunate. But if you can get that one, I don't want it like that. You all can see it. But if you can hold it here on an angle, that's a pretty good lighting solution right there for dioramas. No, not too shabby. Let me know what you all think in the comments on these LA Lit options here for lighting. Let me go ahead and just zoom out a little bit, show you kind of what we're looking at. This one was up like this, but you can come up with a way to get that there. And I have those on the sides. Not too shabby. I tell you what, I'm impressed with the power of these lights and what they can do, especially in the diorama scene here. All right, moving around. So here's what we're looking at. This is the product we're reviewing today. This is specifically the 11.8-inch version of the LA Litz motion sensor lights. Let's go ahead and give this a rating. All right. So as far as engineering, let's go with engineering on this particular bad boy. We're going to give it a thumbs up, right? It's pretty clear. These things are small, form factor. They're bright. They can be slid in areas. You can use them to light up your diorama. You can use them to light up your collection, as you see over there. That one keeps turning off. I'm not sure why, but hey, it is what it is. So the next thing we got to talk about is affordability. Now, the 11.8-inch lights are about $10 more expensive than the 6-inch lights. I'm going to go ahead and call this a thumb sideways. I'm going to tell you to stick with the 6-inch. These 6-inch lights are a workhorse. You can do everything with the 6-inch light and more that you can do with the 11.8. It's not worth the $10 increase to go up to this. Buy yourself 2 packs of the 6-inch lights for the price of this one, something like that. Definitely not worth the upgrade there. All right, overall, I'm gonna, this is basically the LA Litz in general. They're gonna be a thumbs up. Maybe like in the middle. I would not recommend getting the 11.8 unless you have specific requirements for it. You saw the depth in the shelves that I did. It didn't seem like that there's more lights in this in order to penetrate deeper. At least that's my opinion. You all might have difference of opinions. Let me know in the comments if you think the 11.8 is better than the 6. But due to the fact that there's a cost increase when you jump up from the 6 to the 11.8, I would definitely recommend sticking with the 6-inch. So overall, there you go. So that's pretty much it for this one. This has been a BAM review. My name is BAM. I review toys, lights for collections, Motu, G.I. Joe Classified, Modern, Transformers, Motu, I have all kinds of toys on YouTube, as well as solutions like lighting solutions for your dioramas, as well as your collection in general. And Spooktober's coming up. I'm going to be doing some spooky stuff with these lights. You might see some zombies come out, some creeps, goblins perhaps. I'm going to be reviewing Halloween kind of toys and trying to get into spooky diorama shots and stuff like that. I also have some craft videos coming up. This snake eyes here that I got for $9 in an eBay auction. Check out my previous video on that one. I'm going to dye him. I'm looking to dye him probably red is what I'm considering at this point in time. Over here, this Battle Cat, I'm going to have a video coming up soon. I bought him at a yard sale. Check out one of my other videos as well. I'm going to dye him as well. I was thinking about doing red on the old Battle Cat. Let me know down below what you think. And some various other action figures like that He-Man, he might get dyed too, because I got him at a yard sale as well. Not the Cape of Tarjay though. That thing's too cool. But that's it for this one. This has been a BAM review. I am BAM, and I am out. Yo, Joe, know what I'm saying?